In this video, I'd like to give an overview of the dean's role of field experience in the local campus. As you know, the dean's role is to have the macro view of everything that's happening in that local campus. Has to have the pulse of what God's doing in that local community. This is part of the genius of Purpose Institute. The dean knows what's happening there far greater extent than what I would have from my office in Garland, Texas. As such, the dean will play an important role in field experience from that macro level, although he or she likely will not be leading the field experience program themselves. The dean supports the local church's missional focus. Everything that happens through PI is about the mission. I am a graduate of several colleges and universities. PI is not a college, it is not a university, it's not a seminary, and it's not a graduate school. It's something different, not less than, just different from. It's designed to prepare men and women for ministry in the local campus. As such, as you know, you will have students in the same classroom that may have earned a doctorate, whereas someone else may have not even finished high school. If I were teaching a graduate program, that would be a deficit. How in the world could I teach to that diverse group? Teaching in the local PI campus, however, that's a wonderful asset. To see the ways in which God is gifting every single person of that congregation to fit together for His purposes and design. So as such, as dean, you're looking to the ways the local campus equips men and women to serve on that mission, and to coordinate and support all the PI components, including the field experience. The field experience plays a pivotal role of helping students move back and forth from the classroom to the service into the field and back to the classroom again. This follows a biblical apostolic model of elders equipping elders. The relationship from Paul and Timothy is quite transparent. He is able to tell Timothy, son, stir up the gifts that are in you. I know they're there because I was there when the hands were placed on you. I was there when you were ordained. I know your mother and your grandmother. I know your spiritual heritage. I know you've had some challenges as a bicultural person, but God has called you in this hour, Timothy, to do some amazing things. That mentoring relationship between Paul and Timothy is replicated in field experience. And as such, we are able to scaffold for our students. Perhaps you've driven by a large construction site where you've seen a multi-story building with scaffolding on the outside. That scaffolding is there for a temporary purpose. The purpose is to provide structure and guideline for those who are building the building. Later, that scaffold will be removed and we will see what's behind the scaffold. Scaffolding provides an opportunity for you to mentor, for the field experience program to mentor the students. As students go into the field, they can try on some things which they could not do on their own. It may be difficult for them to run a food bank on their own, but they could serve in a food bank. You're scaffolding, you're providing structure around them to help them to do what's beyond their current capacity to serve. And by serving beyond their current capacity, they're building the capacity and confidence that they can do what the Master's calling them to do. And finally, over time, that structure will be removed. We are far beyond the place where apostolic men and women can encounter someone at the local Walmart or the Little League game and hear someone say, would you ask your pastor to pray? And we would say, well, we'll take that. We'll hand it in on the sheet on Sunday. Well, we may hand in those prayer requests on Sunday. We need men and women of faith to be able to pray right then, right there, for God's amazing work to be done. That's what field experience does. It sends people into the field with support, brings them back for reflection and study, so they can go back into the field to work more independently in the future. As dean, I see that you have a couple of primary tasks. First task is to highlight field experience in all of your promotional pieces. As you're promoting PI to your congregation or to your district, you're following in a district model, you need to emphasize the role of field experience. Field experience is not a box to be checked. It's giving people experiences in the field. This is why PI exists, preparing men and women for the harvest. Secondly, you will be assessing by walking around. As you walk around your campus, listening to the students, listening to the instructors, as you walk around the church, hearing the ministries, you're going to do some assessment by walking around. You're hearing the ways in which students from PI are being engaged in ministry and the impact that they're having every place where they go. Thirdly, you will be creating a new campus role, the role of the field education director. So you're going to be promoting, you're going to be assessing by walking around, and you're creating a new role of a field education director. Here are some options you can have. You could do it yourself. That's not my recommendation. You could do it yourself, or you could have your admin do it. So you could layer field experience director on top of either the dean's role or the admin's role. Second option that you can do is have an instructor who teaches most semesters. I teach every semester at our North Cities PI in Garland, Texas. As an instructor, I'm not the dean and I'm not the admin, but I've taken on the role of the field experience director. So as an instructor, every semester I have contact with all of the students on an ongoing basis. So I include field experience conversations in my courses every single semester. For me, I think this is the most effective way to do it. Layer it on to one of the teachers who's there on a regular basis. The third option would be to create a new and independent role of a field experience director. So then you would have a dean, administrator, and a field experience director, 3 independent roles. You can do it yourself or your admin, layer it on an instructor, or create an independent role. As we conclude this video, I'd like to mention that if your congregation already has a mentoring program, PI's field experience should tailor in nicely, fit in nicely with what you're already doing. Do not create an independent department of your church for field experience. If you have a mentoring director in your congregation, then perhaps that person could be your field experience director, because they're already tapped into every single department in the congregation. They know how to send people into various ministries, and they are well equipped to help place the students and to help those students reflect later. So if you have a mentoring program, fantastic. You've probably got 90% of what's needed for this addition to your local field experience program. Let you know that if you have any questions as dean related to field experience, feel free to send me an email and I'll get back with you as quickly as possible. jlittles@purposeinstitute.com. jlittles@purposeinstitute.com. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Lord bless, and I pray the Lord does a dynamic thing on your local campus this semester.